It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege of interviewing the Florida Southern College head women's soccer coach, Coach Gerry Lucey. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Thank you. Can you talk about how you knew that you want to get started in coaching in college women's soccer?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was back in 1997. I just actually been graduated in '94, but I was coaching on the men's side, and then the head women's soccer coach just asked me, he said, "Listen, would you be interested in coaching on the women's side, and you can run everything?" Um, when I was on the men's side, obviously there was a head coach, and I was just kind of following along his guidelines. But when I was given the opportunity to take over all the coaching aspects of it, I jumped at the opportunity and went to the women's side back in '97.
What was that experience like for you getting to play professional soccer?
I loved it. I mean, it's everything I've done since I was a small kid. My dad played at a big club over in England, or a pretty big club, but he was on the verge of going pro himself, but then ended up getting married and went down that path. So that was the end of his career back in those days. So for me, yeah, I mean, all I ever known was all my earliest memories are me with a ball, kicking the ball around, having a ball underneath my arm, going to the field. So to be able to go on and obviously go through the ranks of youth, then come to the States and play in college, and then from there go on to play professionally for a few years. Fantastic. I mean, I loved it. It was kind of what everything you dreamt of. Of course, it wasn't the highest level, but it was still you're training every day, you're playing games, you're traveling a lot. It was enjoyable. Some good crowds. So yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed playing, and obviously it's always sad to hang up your boots, but that day came and had to hang them up and move on.
What was that experience like for you getting to play for the CW Post?
I loved it. I mean, when I came to the States, first college I went to was New York Institute of Technology. I was there for just 1 year. And then the program was folding. So I had to find a new school. And pretty much basically right next door is CW Post. And I had conversations with the coach over there, got me on board. And I had 3 years there and absolutely loved it. I mean, it was kind of more of the American dream that I had in terms of the college life. There was campus life. There were dorms. The previous school, it was commuter school. So it wasn't as much fun. But then once I got to see the Post, it was really kind of what I'd seen in the movies, in the films, So it was great. Great soccer experience, great life experience, and just really enjoyed my time at CW Post.
How was that transition like for you going from being a player to coaching on the women's soccer side as assistant coach?
It was strange because I'd never coached on the women's side before. I think all of my pretty much all my even youth club coaching had been on the boys' side, and obviously playing as a player up until graduation, and then transitioning into some coaching as well. It was all on the men's side, and so it was definitely different dealing with a group of young women. But honestly, I absolutely loved it. I think just the women were far more open to listening, wanting to learn, willing. They basically want to please you. They want to make sure that obviously that we as coaches are happy, and obviously we're trying to do likewise. So again, it was a good environment. Wasn't a great first year, but we turned it around, and yeah, I mean we went back to back conference champions right after that. So it was a good start to my college coaching career for sure.
During that time, what was it like getting to coach at your alma mater?
I couldn't have asked for more. I mean, it was really is. It was a dream to be able to obviously begin as an assistant coach there, and then obviously get the head coaching job for a short time there as well. I really loved that, man. I really enjoyed working there, and obviously, you know, being an alum, getting to know obviously the players that came in after me. Obviously, I knew the class or two that were before me. So yeah, I mean, it's great to be in an environment where you know a lot of people, where you're well supported, where you're seeing people that you've seen for many years. So really enjoyed working there, and felt it gave me a good base for moving on.
What was that experience like for you going to Westchester Golden Rams and being their head coach?
It was fantastic. It was actually I recently got my green card, so prior to that I was all on visas, and so that was my first real job with a green card. So I was actually an assistant coach at the University of Tampa prior to that for a couple of years, and then obviously paperwork was coming through, and so that was an unbelievable experience. I mean, to go to Westchester the year before that, they made it to the last 8 in the country. So big shoes to fill from the previous coach. But we were 23-0 going into Final Four. So yeah, it was a dream season, unbelievable season to go and win every single game, your first 23 games, and then unfortunately lost in double overtime to Metro State, who went on to win it. But yeah, it was a fantastic experience. Really loved it there. But strangely enough, I had left Tampa on 4 days' notice. I think I was offered the job and accepted the job on August 11th. I had to be there by the 15th. So it was a mad rush, getting obviously friends to help me pack up and leave. I don't know whether they were just happy to come and pack me up and leave, but anyway, they got me going on time. And one of the main, well, actually not the main reason, one of the reasons why I actually had to leave Westchester was because I couldn't get anyone into my house in Tampa. So basically I was paying a mortgage on my house in Tampa. I had an investment property of the same story there. Plus I was renting up in Westchester. So financially it was a burden. But the experience in Westchester was excellent. And even after my time in Tampa, I went back to the Westchester area and did some club there for about a year or so. Beautiful area, great people. Really enjoyed it.
What was that experience like getting a coach on the club level to help you to make it to the college level?
Um, I think again, it's getting your feet wet. You're learning the trade. Obviously, it's not the path everybody takes, but I think for me personally, I've enjoyed club coaching, especially obviously amongst the serious youth soccer players. So yeah, I mean, it's a great way to obviously to play around with things, to see what works for you, see what works for the players, tactically to play around with different tactics and again see how comfortable you are working different systems and playing against different systems, and trying to obviously counter those. So I think, yeah, I mean, I think everywhere I've gone, I've enjoyed the experience, and I felt that that I've learned things and try to add things to what I do and learn from others around me. So yeah, I mean, I still do a little bit of club these days and enjoy kind of just again interacting with kids and trying to help them out at different levels.
How was that experience like getting to come to Florida Southern and being their next head coach?
Love it, absolutely love it. Great department, great people. Really enjoy working with the girls. Just again, just great attitudes, good attitudes. The environment's good, the culture's good, and this is something I came into a pretty healthy culture. But there's some really strong leaders on the team. Some of the seniors, the juniors, really taking the bull by the horns and ran with it. So it makes our job a lot easier, a lot more pleasurable. I think as I tell everybody that comes in to meet with us, I always want to come to work with a smile. I want to leave with a smile, and I expect them to do the same thing. I really want the players to love the experience. Obviously, we have to ensure that we're doing our part to make it pleasurable. But obviously, they have a big role in that as well in terms of their application, their attitude, to ensure that they're doing the right things as well. But Florida Southern has been fantastic for me. I spent 10 years at the University of Tampa. Obviously, Florida Southern was just a rival at that point. I didn't know really what to expect. I had an idea of the camps, an idea of the area. But I felt like coming to Florida Southern, it was a great opportunity to really help build a program that didn't have too much recognition over the 20 odd years that it's been in existence. And we're trying to change that. We're trying to change it to be a team that really competes at the top end of the conference year in, year out. And in terms of resources, stuff like that, it's very similar to the situation we had at Tampa when we came in there, and we made that very successful. So I do feel that the base is there to make this a very, very successful program if we obviously target the right players, stuff like that. But the university is very, very helpful in terms of the academic aid, in terms of obviously the facilities. And I think just again, just a real family-like atmosphere in the athletic department as well. So definitely enjoy going in there every single day.
For you as a head coach, what was that feeling like stepping onto that soccer field for the first time?
Beautiful place, beautiful field, absolutely gorgeous stadium, little stadium. The field is arguably the best in the conference or close to it. So yeah, I mean it's every time we step on it, I just look on it and just like I love this pitch. It's really is a great playing surface. Even our practice facility is a good playing surface for most of the time until the cross gets on it and rips it up. But that's just the nature of their sport. So yeah, I mean, really is. It's fantastic facilities with the new Adams Sports Performance Center as well. It's again a great platform for the kids to jump in and get a great workout. So yeah, I mean, facilities wise, it really is. It's outstanding.
What was that feeling like getting your first win as a head coach?
Fortunately, it came very early. I think I got it in the first game, so it's been a bit of a rough ride, at times as well. But of course, you always want to start off with a win. And yeah, obviously, thankfully came in the first game and got off to a good start. And we're very hopeful this year that we're going to have a very, very strong year. But yeah, I mean, first year was very good. Last year was not great in terms of results. Performance was pretty good, but we were let down in certain parts of the field. But yeah, we're looking for hopefully for a lot more wins this year.
Can you talk about, of course, the culture that you started to build for the women's soccer program?
Yeah, it's. I think again for me, it needs to be player driven. That the players obviously need to buy into what exactly they're looking for. So you just can't expect the carpet to be rolled out and everything to be handed to you. If you want that good environment, a good culture, you got to be a part of that as well. So we're always asking the players what do they actually bring. How are they developing the culture and the environment within the program? So fortunately, as I said before, we do have some very strong leaders on the team who are very mature in what they do, and they really engage the rest of the team. So thankful, that we do have a team that enjoys hanging out with each other. Yes, of course, you're not going to get 35 or so just together at the same time. That's a mob, but they frequently walk around Lake Hollingsworth or go to different events. So I've heard from several different sources that our team is the most social on campus. I don't dig too deep because sometimes you don't want all the answers, but they don't get in trouble. They pretty much do the right thing, and so I'm very thankful that the players are helping us develop that. My new assistant, Sammy Kern, has done a tremendous job since she came here in February, and she really is helping out on that end of things as well, in trying to build the right culture and trying to obviously add events during the course of the year that will help develop the mentality, help develop obviously the togetherness, and it's a very, very important part of modern day athletics.
Who are some of the teams in your conference that you compete against?
You go back to last few seasons. I think Florida Tech has been at the top the last couple of years. They've had a great program over the course of the many years that I've been involved in the Sunshine State. Embry-Riddle plays some really good soccer as well, as do Nova Southeastern. So I think those three and Rollins have kind of been at the top. So we're obviously we weren't great last year, despite having a couple of really good wins. So we're hoping, obviously, as I said, to really compete at the top end of the conference this year. And I believe that we should be challenging those teams that I mentioned. And obviously, there's no easy games in this conference. There's absolutely zero. Even in my time at Tampa, when we were successful, we never overlooked anybody. It's just, again, there's no game you can say that's a guaranteed win. So we got to be prepared, got to be ready, and hopefully be able to challenge everybody in this conference to the top few spots.
What is that home game atmosphere like when teams like Florida Tech comes versus going away to Nova?
I mean, it just depends on which day. Usually, because of the distance, we play Nova on a Saturday, so it's usually better on a weekend getting a crowd. Um, I think it just depends on how tight that game is. Florida Tech this past season at home, I think they won 4-1, so it wasn't really a close game. We made too many mistakes early on, and obviously gifted them a few goals. So that kind of takes the wind out of the sails of your supporters. When we played Nova at home this year, and it was a very, very tight game. They scored in the last 5 minutes to win 1-0. So we played them very, very well. Last year we beat them in the quarterfinals of the conference playoffs. So we've had success. We've had success against the top teams in the conference, but we got to be more consistent. So, as I said, really looking for the group this year to compete at the top end. And hopefully, go on and win some prizes.
As a head coach, what have been some of the things you've been able to accomplish so far?
I think the players have bought into what we're trying to do. I really do enjoy engaging with them and enjoy their work ethic and their attitude. Of course, there's days when everything isn't going perfect or individuals not having a fantastic day, but we try to be consistent in what we do and the demands that we make. But we also try to encourage to have a smile, have a laugh, enjoy yourself. It's soccer, it's football, it's something you should really love doing. So again, it goes back into coming with a smile, hopefully leaving with a smile. But as I said, doesn't always work out for everybody every single day. But that's kind of what we do ask for. Um, I think you can really enjoy yourself, but be serious at the same time. And again, that's what we're trying to build into what we're doing here. We've got some really, really good athletes coming in here. We have some already at the program. So I really do believe we have the right ingredients to challenge this year.
What does that recruitment process look like for those prospective new athletes? And as a head coach, what do you look at in them?
Commitment.
Mhm.
Um, they, obviously at any level of the NCAA soccer is academics is always number one. And I think D2 does a really good job of ensuring that academics comes first. We try to not miss class time as best possible. So we do obviously stress that to the players early on that academics is number one. I firmly believe that if you're happy in your academics, then everything else kind of falls into place. So I think commitment wise, if the players obviously are bought in, if the players are fully focused, the players do that little bit of extra stuff because certain positions definitely need a little bit more additional training. So, for example, goalkeepers working on certain elements of their game, the forwards obviously getting repetition in getting shots off. So, some things you just can't always accomplish in a regular practice. So, we try to do extra things and look at players to do stuff on their own as well. So, if they're doing it on their own, they're bought in. If they're not doing it, if they're cheating it, then they're not obviously fully 100% in. And that's where you're trying to convince some players who may not have had the same background growing up in youth soccer. So we try to look at top ESNL or Girls Academy players to come in here because we know they're playing at a very, very competitive level. We know that they can be very bought into what we're trying to do. We know that the competitive nature is going to be there. So, and obviously, hopefully the soccer IQ at the skill level. So we're really trying to identify players that we know won't need a lot of extra training per se. That they're closer to being ready for what we're looking for than some of the players that we've had in the past. And as I said, we're really, really believing that we have a group that is fully focused and bought in and ready to give it a good shot this fall. We had a very, very good spring overall. So I think that the girls are excited about coming back and can see the changes that we've made in terms of the tactics and even the way that we train. And they can see even with the players that we brought in the spring that we're really going to challenge this year.
As a head coach, what is it like seeing those freshmen putting on that jersey for the first time versus your seniors putting it on for the last time?
It's exciting and it's also obviously sad. Yeah, I really do believe we've a great senior class, really, really good senior class, both in talent, attitude. Absolutely love them. I think they really have great values. So it's going to be sad to see this class go. So, I've obviously will have the pleasure of working with them for 3 years. Um, and yeah, I'll definitely be a bit sad. I'm sure there'll be a tear or two in my eyes. When they're on their senior night, and definitely whenever that last game is. Um, I'm also excited to see the freshmen. Because it is, my second recruit class here, but probably the first one I had a lot of time to really recruit. The 24 class was a little bit rushed because by the time I got in here, most of those juniors were committed, and obviously with girls soccer, the commitments are a lot earlier than many other sports. So now the 25 class, I was good with the 26 class again, same thing. Just being very meticulous in what we do. So very excited to see the class of 25 pull on that jersey and compete and playing.
As a head coach, what is it like seeing those players going on and playing professional soccer, whether it's in the NWSL
Yeah,
or internationally?
it's great to see obviously women's soccer growing. It's great to see your former players go on and play at an even higher level. So some of the players I had at Hofstra have played obviously in the NWSL. They're now in one of them's playing in the top English league as well for Aston Villa. She was at Liverpool prior to that. So yeah, it's very very exciting to see obviously them go on and play at such a high level. It seems that I've had former players even from my Tampa days go on and play in different countries, from Croatia, Cyprus, Scandinavian countries. Yeah, I mean, kind of all over. But so yeah, it's great to see them. It's also, I think, fantastic to continue having those relationships with those players and just keeping in touch with them and advise them whenever they ask for it, and just try to guide them as best we can. But I love following their careers. So it's nice to know that I had some input on what they're doing as they move on to a higher level.
What are some of your future plans for the program moving forward?
To continue bringing in quality individuals, who are strong in the classroom, who are going to be great teammates, and also obviously will help us get results on the field. So we try to do our best in terms of doing our background on the players. But yeah, I mean, I really want to build this program to the level we had at Tampa, where we were consistently challenging for conference titles. But trying to do it the right way, trying to obviously bring in the right talent. We first look, our squad is based on domestic players, so we're looking in the US straight away. We only have actually two internationals on the squad, but we are looking to build a true US based squad because there's so much talent in the United States. And as I said, I want to bring in the type of player who really wants to be at Florida Southern for their academics and also for athletics, and really buy into what we're trying to build. So, I'm excited for the future. I'm excited that this program can reach a consistent level, and we're hoping that this year coming up will be the springboard for many years to follow.
What advice would you give those incoming freshmen entering their first year of college soccer?
Be patient. Obviously, give 100% every single day. For me, I'm not afraid to play freshmen. I'm not afraid to bench seniors. It's the best players play, and those the right attitude, obviously with the right ability, the right IQ. So, obviously I know that you're not going to win all freshmen, but talent is talent. So, we're hoping obviously we're doing the right job. So with this, the freshman class, they just got to come in with the right attitude, push themselves, push the seniors. I don't expect them to be reclusive and just kind of sit back and just kind of wait for an opportunity. I want them to go out and grab opportunities and really make it theirs. So, for me, that kind of backs up knowing that we feel we've done a really good job in recruiting this class. We believe the talent is there, and hopefully they will, go out and prove that we did right this year.
What advice would you give those players looking to play professional soccer?
Got to go the extra mile. Unfortunately, we see too many times that players are not doing that extra. They expect results without doing the extra work, and it's just not accomplished. You obviously see the top level athletes. You see it obviously with Kobe Bryant, Mia Hamm, can name obviously gazillion others who do the work behind the scenes, who do the work when nobody else is looking. So if they want to go on and play at a high level, they've got to put in that extra work. They've got to really develop the game to the best of their ability. They've got to be the best athlete that they can be, nutritionally, eat the right things, get the sleep. So there's so much that goes into being a professional athlete. And if you're not doing the extra, you shouldn't expect and you don't deserve it. So, we will obviously help them as best we can in terms of development on the field, advice off the field and on the field. But we really hope that to reach that level and knowing the players that I've coached before who have gone on to play in the top professional leagues for women and men, because I've coached on the men's side as well and coached a lot of good male players. They're the ones who, are on the field after practice, before practice, when there's no practice, just doing extra things. And those are players who get success.
What advice would you give those future head coaches looking to build their own program and build their own legacy?
Uh, never feel afraid to admit that you're wrong or change your path. Or, I mean, there's so many different things. This the game is evolving. Our players are evolving. We need to evolve as coaches as well. We continually need to change with times. You got to be able to communicate, obviously, with the athletes of today and not be stuck in the athletes of 20, 30 years ago. It's completely different. You got to keep on changing your training methods as well to keep up with the times and to evolve the game and evolve your tactics. So I think, us as coaches need to be current on what we're doing. And be able to, as I said, to relate to players as best possible. Obviously, for younger coaches, it's a little different because they're closer in age. Um, but never ever feel that you know everything. I mean, I don't. I want to keep growing. I want to keep learning. I'm continuing watching obviously stuff on YouTube or wherever I can find information. I want to change the way I look at games. I want to change my tactics at times. I want to see if there's a kind of a twist to what we do. So for young coaches coming into the game, again, just be open to learning. Continually be open to learning. Talk to your athletes, listen to what they have to say. Get to know your athletes, get to know how they can be pushed. Because again, not everybody can just press the same button and hope that you're going to get that result. So, as I said, just be open to everything as a coach. For me, I've no problem making fun of myself in front of the team. It's part of it. They know there's a line, but at the same time, I want them to feel that they can talk to me about things that I can be open to. Obviously, listen to their side of it, but at the same time, they know that I'm very very firm in my tactics, in how I want to play, and the simple things that I'm looking for. And again, with a new coach, yes, have your beliefs, but also be flexible.
That's great advice. Where can my listeners find you at on social media along with the program at?
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
Where can my listeners find you at on social media along with the program?
Yeah, I mean, we're just on the basic things. Obviously, I don't. I know I do have Twitter, but I don't know what my Twitter handle is, whatever name is. And I do have. I'm on Instagram. I think it's GLUCEY10. And obviously Facebook or just via the actual Florida Southern College Women's Soccer Instagram page or Twitter page or X page, as obviously it's called now. So I'm able to grab me on that. Obviously, email me. It's on the website, but it's just GLUCEY@flsouthern.edu. So yeah, I'm open to communicating with pretty much anybody and happy to answer questions.
Thank you again, Coach Gerry, for your interview and best luck in your future at Florida Southern as the head women's soccer coach.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Coach, for your interview, and best luck in your future.
All right, cheers. Okay.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.